Hello, Christian Læring, also known as Krishve. You have a very varied and interesting trajectory in music in Denmark and abroad. I know you work with Hotel Performer, for instance, the leading Danish perform. What do we call it? Is it a performance theater or?
I think they call themselves laboratory for stage art.
Ah, yeah. Because I would say that you possibly also consider your own work a kind of a laboratory, that you explore many different avenues in arts over the times.
Yes, I would agree with that in some way. I don't know. I don't think I have one specific term for it, but I also think now you mentioned performance. I think there is also an element of performance in what I do, at least for the live shows. I think about that also, because I think it's important to think about not only what people are hearing, but that we are also visual beings. And yeah, I've been playing music since I was a small kid, and that led to an interest in recording and capturing sound, or trying to understand why it always sounds different when you record something than when you hear it in real life. I think it's because of basic interest in filters and how we filter what we experience, and how we try to make sense of the world that surrounds us.
Yeah.
That's some of the themes
Yeah.
I'm working with, I think.
So the sound once recorded is not a natural sound to you anymore, but it's a source for manipulation. Is that how you are thinking of it? Because I remember the release that you did for Klein, Sort Diamant. One of the pieces worked, for instance, with the sound of respiration.
I think it's, I don't know, I wouldn't say that it's not a sound. I would say it's still a sound. It's all physical manifestations of energy, basically, without sounding too, so in that way, it's a source. It's a material that you can work with and you can manipulate in any way you want. But I also think that specific sounds, because of the kind of physical fingerprint they have, they represent something that is a kind of a symbol that we can understand, that we can relate to, because we know more or less what it is. But you can play around with that, so you can make something sound like something else, or you can morph one thing into another. And I think things like that is interesting, because it's about energy changing shape, but also about identity.
Yeah. So you would obviously then use a range of tools to make those changes. So these tools, tell us about what they are, and are the tools themselves the kind of filters to look at the material and change it?
I use everything. So, but it's when I work in my studio or wherever I'm working, because I'm traveling a lot, I use computers a lot. I use software a lot, but I also use a lot of hardware, and also just like physical filtering, like playing a sound in a room and re-recording the sound, or using my own body as a sound source, or found sounds, field recordings. It's more when I get to the live performance area for me, then I have had for a long time this interest in playing live without using computers. because I find it challenging and I find it interesting, and I like the direct physical interaction with my small boxes, my equipment, whatever I'm using.
So what equipment are you using at this moment, or what has been your favorite equipment?
My favorite equipment for a long time had probably just been the small mixing desk that I'm using, because everything is kind of going through this small mixing desk, so it becomes a kind of how can I describe this? It's like it's the starting point for everything, but it's also where things get changed or destroyed or reborn. But that in combination with a contact mic and a few effect boxes is quite nice. Recently I've been going a little bit back to what I did before that, because I've started using like hardware sequences and working a bit more with beats and rhythms, but in a slightly abstract way. Either it's completely basic and animalistic, or it's kind of abstract.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening right now.
Yeah. So and in software, but that's for your live performances when you're working in the studio for or maybe in theater productions or for your own works. You're working mostly from your computer.
Yeah, because it's easy.
Yeah.
And you can travel with that pretty easily. But I think it's also interesting because you can turn as soon as it's all zeros and ones, you can turn anything into anything, and that's of course interesting. I think. So
you have your preferred platform. You work from Ableton or?
Work with Logic, Ableton, and Max MSP, but also a lot of smaller applications for specific things.
Oh, yeah.
I like to work with it. I'm not going to mention the name of the manufacturer because this is not a commercial. But let's say it's not Adobe, but it's somebody else. It's another production company that made this software a while ago. That is more or less like a Photoshop for sound, and it's meant for sound restoration, and it's extremely good. But you can also make a lot of interesting manipulations.
Ah, interesting. You'll have to tell me what it is after this interview, obviously. Yeah. So what is your immediate plans? I know that you're working in theater productions, but on a more personal level, what are your immediate plans?
I'm developing my sequencer nightmare thing at the moment, and I am working on, hopefully this will happen, I'm working on a big installation here in Copenhagen, which will be underground, and it will also be with visuals. We have two people working with the music and sound, and then there's one visual artist involved. But that will probably be next year. So
yes. So next year that will be, we're in 2016.
Yeah, so that will be 2017 for the internet. Yes.
We'll be looking forward to that.
That'll be here in Copenhagen, and that's something I'll be looking forward to.
Yeah. Excellent. Thanks a lot.